Hey everyone, it's your girl Maddie here, aka Beaver Mosh, and today I am here to talk to you about a dialogue with the Eeriest Sublime, and this is coming from the Lombardy, Italy-based Vertebra Atlantis, being released off of Voidhanger Records. And here, Vertebra Atlantis plays this abstract, dissonant, and quite free feeling hybrid of black and death metal. But it doesn't lose itself. While it plays a lot with these strange textures and passages, it never feels overly indulgent. It's more using these more strange aspects to bring forth more darkness and heaviness. It's a great recipe. It's complex for sure. It's noisy and challenging. But I don't think it's without its rewards. If somebody has a patient ear and they are looking for something as dense as this, there's a lot there to dig into. It doesn't take long for Vertebra Atlantis to really hone in on their artsier and avant-garde sensibilities, and I don't use those words despairingly at all. It comes through in these angular, abstract, atonal leads that seem to spike off into various directions in a very cerebral delivery, but mainly they're focusing on their viciousness in their delivery with these stabbing guitars that will not stop. The band taps into this hostility and this existential discomfort. That's not an easy feeling to just create for a listener. On Frost Palace Gloaming Respite, these cold, skipping guitars come in these off-kilter patterns with a slyness attached to them, while the percussion is pummeling and its continued unleashed presence allows the song to have its forward motion and energy, kind of leaving everything else to feel free to experiment around the percussion. These more melodic leads do a very interesting thing here with this rising pattern just to kind of fizzle down and then back up again. It's a quite interesting tension and false release that they do here. This feels, I must say though, it feels black metal. Even with all the experimentation and odd things that are happening, it doesn't lose its very grim and unholy identity. With Drown in Aether, Sovereign of Withered Ardor, I just collapse in this onslaught of noise and feedback and monstrous riffs. It delivers their affinity for dissonance in the most devastating but controlled capacity. The vocals are just freakish, totally rough, totally inhospitable, and just perfect for what Vertebra Atlantis is conveying here. The death metal side of the band definitely comes out in these chunky, brutish bits with slamming drums and bullheaded chords. Hell yeah. These open chords are picked in a way that's almost harmonious, but one note will be a bit sharp or just off enough to where the band is poking fun at you for thinking they were going to let anything on this album resolve in a way that sounds pleasant. With Cupio Dissolve, these haunting, creepy, clean guitars run through with this faint vocal sample. It's all darkly hypnotic. Even these gothy film score pianos that are added with it, it's all quite a feet in mood. This you're gonna feel when you listen to it. Slowly, these spiky guitars begin to burrow their way in, met eventually by these absolutely maddened snare runs and even some faint, eerie choral sounds. It's supposed to come off as an interlude, but even without any of the aggressive vocals, it still sounds and feels vital to the narrative, like this is a part of the story the band is trying to tell you. And the solo just shreds in a very normal, familiar way. You're going to recognize some of these things on here, but it's over this batshit insane backdrop. It's a very interesting creative choice. With In Starlight Ancient Eyes, I get this sort of cosmic, mysterious aura. It definitely has this intention, this sense of tumultuous travel. These hollow, spacey chords ring out while the vocals are delivered with this intentionally confused tone. This legitimately feels dark and malevolent, has this sense of evil and scorn around it. The vocalist uses a lot of restraint on this album, but that means the times when the emotion is emphasized more, it's just that much more effective and gripping. Desperately ablaze from the lowest tier feels like this descending cyclone, always spinning, constantly falling into more and more chaos. It all feels like this legitimately off-putting and disorienting affair, executed perfectly. I love these subtle skittering patterns that come at you in a way that it feels like you are losing your sanity. And it's heavy. The thing is suffocating, it's big, and it's crushing. And I think that's a flute I hear. The closing title track is a very interesting left turn. It's almost darkly romantic. It sounds like this ballroom passage with these round, crooning, clean vocals. It all puts you in this daze with these dreamy guitars. But it evolves too into these screeching Pink Floyd-esque leads. Honestly, this track could fit, part of it at least, on Wish You Were Here. It's enchanting almost. And yeah, this is an odd way to end this album, I agree. But this is an unapologetically strange record that seems to invent rules and then break those said rules in quite interesting ways, and I'm totally okay with them doing this. I think this is an exciting record. Their avant-garde uses here don't feel pretentious. It instead allows seasoned metal listeners or people who have at least heard a lot of metal to not feel like they can just predict this one or have somewhat of an anticipation of what this is going to sound like next. The band is incorporating a lot of interesting textures here. You know, it sounds like they are exploring and getting to be able to observe and hear and feel. That exploration is a huge part of this record's thrill. For those who like the noisier, more claustrophobic, more left field and takes on metal music, this is going to do a lot for a lot of people. It might not be for everyone, but it's definitely for me. So I recommend it highly. And hey, that concludes my thoughts. If you like these videos, enjoy what I do, please hit that like button. It'd mean the world to me if you'd consider subscribing. Leave a comment. I love being able to engage with those. I'm playing with some new camera angles. Tell me what you think. I have a Twitter you can follow. Link to that is in the bio of this YouTube channel. Hey, thank you to my patrons. I have a Patreon that you can support. No pressure, but if you want to help the show out in that way, keep it more sustainable, that is an option, and I would appreciate it greatly. Keep it metal. My name is Maddie, aka Beaver Mosh, and I am signing